Hi y'all, I'm Exopola. I want to talk about image or social media personae. Social media persona. Um, we can't help it. There's always a person that emerges whenever you try to interact with another human being. You're a person, I'm a person, and then there's another person that emerges that's really the perception of who I am in your mind, and that's called a persona. And there's no way around that. There's always going to be a persona. And the persona is actually the awareness, your awareness, that your awareness of the person that you are, because it's the awareness that you're being perceived by me. Your persona is your awareness that you are being perceived by me. So persona is actually a really beautiful thing, actually, if you really think about it. Because a persona is the persona is your awareness that you're being perceived by others. And your willingness to think about others. Think about yourself and how you're perceived by others. And that's what a persona is. And it's actually really beautiful. It's really beautiful when you think about that. It's both totally you, and then also it's both coming from you and coming from how you perceive yourself being perceived. So it's really actually a really beautiful thing, the persona. And the unfortunate thing is that we often have many persona, and I think one of the most beautiful things about mass social media like Facebook is that whatever persona you're putting out there, it's being picked up by everybody and sort of being unified into one persona once again. And that's really actually a beautiful thing. You can't be a different person for one group of friends than you are with your family or with another group of friends, and that's really a beautiful thing. We for a long time we got used to living very fractured, having a very fractured self-image, very fractured personae. But what social media is doing is it's uniting those personae into one sort of changing personality. This personality that is sort of changing through the interaction. It's really a beautiful thing, and that's why I stay on Facebook, and that's why I like Facebook. But there's another side of self-image and persona, and that's sort of the negative side that everybody immediately thinks of when they hear the word persona. Oh, something constructed deliberately, something fake. Well, yeah, there is something fake. But why? And I think that gets down to the heart of what is love. You know, not talking about romantic love, not even really talking about making somebody feel comfortable or whatever. Maybe you should feel comfortable. Maybe I should make you feel comfortable. That's what I think when I read St. Paul's words in Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails, but where there is prophecy, they will cease. Where there is tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. Wow. Love never fails. So when you are being viewed and understood, and one is patient with you, you are being loved. Unfortunately, I think there's another side, a shallow side, and the shallow side isn't necessarily just the awareness of being viewed, but the desire to change, the desire to distort, to manipulate through someone's knowledge that they are being viewed. The desire to use, to twist someone's awareness that you are viewing them. And, that's what's called flattery. And flattery isn't talked about as often, because it doesn't feel good to talk about flattery. And if we talked about flattery, we'd have to talk about the way that persona are used by ad campaigns, by political campaigns, by the church that makes people feel good rather than helps them. Flattery says something nice to get something evil. Flattery is a sin. Here's Psalms 5:9. For there is no truth in their mouth. Their innermost self is destructive. Their tongue is an open grave. They flatter with their tongue. Excuse me, I'm not very good at reading, so I'm going to read that again with the words that are here. For there is no truth in their mouth. Their innermost self is destruction. Their throat is an open grave. They flatter with their tongue. Psalms 5:9. So encouragement builds people up, but flattery is destruction. And yet, what's really the difference between encouragement and flattery? I think sometimes it could be the same thing, and then something could be and encouragement, and then all of a sudden it's used. It's used to undermine, maybe even at a later moment, and then it becomes flattery. There's an encouragement, and you become my friend because I encouraged you, and then I say something nice, but it's not to help you. This time, that nice thing is to make you not judge me, not notice my faults. Maybe this time it's not to help you, but it's to get you involved. And that's kind of like an ad campaign, a political movement, a radical political movement. You're part of a radical political movement. You're going to stop hate. You're going to stop hate. You're going to stop hate by giving compliments, by being nice to people. You're going to stop hate by encouraging people. You're going to stop hate by telling people that they are okay the way that they are. They're okay just the way they are. And that is flattery. Flattery is, it's telling people they don't have to change so that you can change them. Telling them they don't have to change so that they can fit into your scheme. So there is a difference. There's flattery, there's love, and there is encouragement. And how do you, I would almost say, don't even, maybe take a break from encouraging if you have a problem with flattery. If you spend your time flattering people, keeping them from growing, keeping them from noticing their real potential, keeping them where they are at. If you have a problem with using your words to keep people where they're at, to undermine the principles of what makes life worth living, justice, courage, overcoming obstacles. If you're using compliments to prevent those things from happening in other people, to make them like you more than want to desire goodness, maybe you should take a break from giving compliments. Maybe you should take a break from even trying to encourage. But maybe you can handle it. Maybe you can handle encouraging. If you really think about it, if you really think about what other people need to grow, to change, have a better life. Maybe you can keep encouraging them. Maybe it's possible. Maybe love is possible. I think that the reason why love has a bad name in our society isn't because it's used for cheap sex necessarily. I think that is the number one biggest reason why love is got a bad rap. But I think the deepest reason why love has a bad rap is because the word love is manipulative to the word love has become the hook of manipulation, and that really what is being presented as love is actually flattery. Because, and I think that it's like pride, it's actually feeding your pride. That rather than challenging you, flattery feeds your pride, puffs you up in order to pull you in. And that's what we see. That's what we see so much when we see in the media that you can be part of a club that judges and takes down the uncouth, the uncultured, the uncool. It's because you're being flattered. When you see a church that says you can be rich, you can be accepted by all your friends and still be a Christian. You can still be cool. That's flattery. That's flattery. That's not encouragement. That's not love. That's flattery. When you're afraid, we should be gentle. We should be gentle with each other. But when we're afraid, growth does come from pain. And when we're really afraid of other people, what they think of us, we're more afraid of what they think of us than what will happen to them if we do not tell the truth. And that's the nature, that's the core of flattery. That's what flattery is. It's flattery. Flattery wants something. Flattery wants to give something that can be had. Flattery wants to give to receive. Flattery gives only, it only receives in its giving. It holds back in its openness. It contains in its unleashedness. It's proud. There's so much pain coming from the flattery. And that's why people are afraid to say things with the typed word, because the typed word in a way is naked. You can see right through flattery with the typed word, and that's what's beautiful about social media and texts on a screen. There's no smile. There's no wink. there's nothing, just the raw words. It's the interpretation and the fear that it's sarcastic, the fear that the words aren't, there's the fear that the words are sincere, or the words are insincere. A person confronts their own fear when they read raw words on a screen. And so text on the internet is an affront to flattery. It's an affront to pride. And it's a beautiful thing, because it actually takes faith that that other person that you can't see would have your best interest at heart. And yet, you have to acknowledge that even if they aren't nice, you don't matter. I have to acknowledge that even if it is an insult that I'm reading, it doesn't matter, because my pride doesn't matter. Your pride doesn't matter. None of those things matter. And maybe if we can really get past flattery, maybe we could get to love. Maybe that you always feel like you're trolling people when you tell the truth on the internet. It always feels like trolling. And that is an incredibly beautiful thing, because that is you cutting straight through your socially conditioned flatterer's nature. You were always told that you had to flatter every time you opened your mouth. And yet, when you move your fingers across those keys, you can't do that. You can't do that one thing that you were taught to do your whole life. And so you have to let go. You have to let go to the truth. It's beautiful. Thank you. Have a good night.